Hello, my name is Brian Flores, and this is In the Throes of Social Media. The rate of growth is one of the many ways consumers and developers measure and determine success in the world of technology. For technology and communication, the transitions from home telephone to mobile or cell phone to smartphone almost seem quite the natural progression. The rapid growth of technology also led to the introduction of social media, essentially a virtual space where people interact with other people. In tandem, the staggering capabilities of smartphones and the undeniable appeal of social media had and continues to have an astronomical impact not only socially but also economically and mentally. The reach of social media has extended all over the globe, and smartphones have made social media easily accessible and available. This condition of always on has been in the forefront of the social media culture. As a result, social media users have developed a poor sense of self worth, which then led to a meaningless source of affirmation from other people and ultimately caused screen addiction. Social media, in its purest form, is inherently a harmless tool. It's a great resource to use to stay in touch and communicate with other people. Filtered through the flawed human brain, however, it becomes more than just a resource. It turns to an escape, a second reality, a second life, a term coined by Sherry Turkle. In the second life, people have the ability to choose how they represent themselves to other people. Turkle notes that technology is seductive when what it offers meets our human vulnerabilities. One of the biggest human vulnerabilities is how other people perceive them as a way to gauge their self worth. Self worth is contingent upon the basis of people's self esteem. This can range from feeling attractive, loved, competent, and more. In the genesis of social media, MySpace introduced the concept of top friends, where users can pick the friends who will appear on their page, literally ranking them. In addition to that feature, users also had the ability to see who viewed their profile and how many times it was clicked or viewed. These features were a catalyst for many people to compose a better second life. Turkle also notes that on social networking sites such as Facebook, people create profiles that are often the fantasy of who they want to be. In conjunction, studies show that frequent social media use may be associated with lower subjective well being and increased depression. Most people's self worth is first established by other people's perception. It's ironic because of the word self, but it lies heavily with the worth people attach to a person initially. Unfortunately, with its popularity, especially among adolescents, social media has become one of the biggest and worst sources of affirmation. All social, all social networking sites now have the like and hashtag features. These features can be used to search for a specific post that have the same tagline. Similarly, with videos posted, social media sites count and display the number of views they received. Users have started to put value to the number of likes and views, which are measured using clout scores. Clout scores later became the colloquial term clout. As a relationship between self worth in the social media and clout grows, altered photos of people have begun to rise as well. Social media apps doubled down on human vanity and insecurity and developed filters using augmented reality to apply to photos and videos to alter and make the users appear differently, more favorably. The impact of the impact of these filters was unscalable. Cloud started to act as a reward system, making rewards very frequent and low value, which changes people's cognitive style on how to be rewarded, which ultimately causes dopamine to surge, training us to need more from our devices. This undeniable need from devices holds users hostage, causing screen addiction. In the era of always connected, companies have started to monetize how often and how long people stay online. Being tethered does not equate to being online. Online is a status in which the user is literally looking at their screen. Tristan Harris, former design ethicist for Google, notes that the problem is that all of these companies are competing to figure out what will hold to keep our attention. Screen addiction is by no means an accident. It's constructed to trap people in a vicious and perpetual cycle of false sense of self-worth and meaningless reward system for affirmation. Meanwhile, on a positive note, a study by the Chi Journal of Psychological Research notes that no relationship was found between social media use and face-to-face interactions. Therefore, individuals may not be using social media at the expense of in-person interactions to fill a social need. This may well change in the future if screen addiction becomes more prominent and invasive, but people have started to put value in being unplugged and disconnected from the internet and the world. If more people began to realize the positive effects of this disconnect, this may become the turning point from massive screen addiction. In the throes of social media, everyone caves to the pressure that the second life exudes. Everyone gravitates to the fake panacea for human vulnerability and insecurity. Everyone falls victim to the construct that the multi-billion-dollar tech companies built to keep every users from putting their smartphones and devices down. Everything, everywhere is happening at this moment, and everyone is just a few clicks away from it. The solution is simple, yet an impossible task. However, the balance exists between social media addiction caused by human vulnerability exploits and tossing every device and rejecting the conveniences of technology. Everyone should begin their quest to find it.